Lazarus Saturday. The raising of Lazarus. Visible triumphs are few in the earthly life of our Lord Jesus Christ. He preached a kingdom not of this world. At his nativity in the flesh there was no room at the inn. For nearly 30 years, while he grew in wisdom and in stature, and in favor with God and man, Luke 2:52, he lived in obscurity as the son of Mary. When he appeared from Nazareth to begin his public ministry, one of the first to hear of him asked, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" John 1:46. In the end he was crucified between two thieves, and laid to rest in the tomb of another man. Two brief days stand out as sharp exceptions, days of clearly observable triumph. These days are known in the church today as Lazarus Saturday and Palm Sunday. Together they form a unified liturgical cycle, which serves as the passage from the 40 days of Great Lent to Holy Week. They are the unique and paradoxical days before the Lord's Passion. They are days of visible earthly triumph, of resurrectional and messianic joy, in which Christ himself is a deliberate and active participant. At the same time they are days which point beyond themselves to an ultimate victory, and final kingship which Christ will attain, not by raising one dead man or entering a particular city, but by his own imminent suffering, death, and resurrection. By raising Lazarus from the dead before thy passion, thou didst confirm the universal resurrection, O Christ God. Like the children with the palms of victory, we cry out to thee, O vanquisher of death, Hosanna in the highest. Blessed is he that comes in the name of the Lord. Troparion of the feast, sung on both Lazarus Saturday and Palm Sunday. Lazarus Saturday. In a carefully detailed narrative, the Gospel relates how Christ, 6 days before his own death, and with particular mindfulness of the people standing by, that they may believe that thou didst send me, John 11:42, went to his dead friend Lazarus at Bethany, outside of Jerusalem. He was aware of the approaching death of Lazarus, but deliberately delayed his coming, saying to his disciples at the news of his friend's death, "For your sake I am glad that I was not there, so that you may believe," John 11:14. When Jesus arrived at Bethany, Lazarus was already dead 4 days. This fact is repeatedly emphasized by the gospel narrative and the liturgical hymns of the feast. The 4-day burial underscores the horrible reality of death. Man, created by God in his own image and likeness, is a spiritual material being, a unity of soul and body. Death is destruction. It is the separation of soul and body. The soul without the body is a ghost, as one Orthodox theologian puts it, and the body without the soul is a decaying corpse. I weep and I wail, when I think upon death, and behold our beauty, fashioned after the image of God, lying in the tomb dishonored, disfigured, bereft of form. This is a hymn of St. John of Damascus sung at the church's burial services. This mystery of death is the inevitable fate of man fallen from God, and blinded by his own prideful pursuits. With epic simplicity the gospel accounts that, on coming to the scene of the horrible end of his friend, Jesus wept, John 11:35. At this moment Lazarus, the friend of Christ, stands for all men, and Bethany is the mystical center of the world. Jesus wept as he saw the very good creation and its king, man, made through him, John 1:3, to be filled with joy, life and light, now a burial ground in which man is sealed up in a tomb outside the city, removed from the fullness of life for which he was created, and decomposing in darkness, despair and death. Again, as the gospel says, the people were hesitant to open the tomb, for by this time there will be an odor, for he has been dead 4 days, John 11:39. When the stone was removed from the tomb, Jesus prayed to his Father, and then cried with a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." The icon of the feast shows the particular moment when Lazarus appears at the entrance to the tomb. He is still wrapped in his grave cloths, and his friends must unwrap him. In everything stress is laid on the audible, the visible, and the tangible. Christ presents the world with this observable fact: on the eve of his own suffering and death, he raises a man dead 4 days. The people were astonished. Many immediately believed on Jesus, and a great crowd began to assemble around him as the news of the raising of Lazarus spread. The regal entry into Jerusalem followed. Lazarus Saturday is a unique day. On a Saturday a matins and divine liturgy bearing the basic marks of festal resurrectional services, normally proper to Sundays, are celebrated. Even the baptismal hymn is sung at the liturgy. As many as have been baptized into Christ, have put on Christ.